Hey guys, welcome back. The title of the video is going to be my YouTube journey at 180 days or 6 months. Now, first things first, I want to say thank you to all my viewers and subscribers to the channel. You guys are awesome. You guys really are. You've been super supportive the entire way, motivating me every day to post a video and keep the content as positive as I can. And you guys have been just a blessing, to be honest. And I love it. All the comments I get, especially first thing in the morning. You guys know I release my videos at 7 a.m. Eastern time in the morning. And, I always love it when I see a bunch of comments come in. It just makes my day. And hopefully my response helps you guys start your day off right. Okay, that's the point of the videos at the end of the day, is to help you be successful in this life. It's a wealthy life at the end of the day. That's the way we all should be thinking. We're all here, we're all alive, it's a wealthy life. Make it happen at the end of the day. So, I want to go over two things in the video, probably more than that, but two big overall concepts. And the first is my status as far as being a YouTuber, quote unquote, right? A monetized YouTuber. And it's going pretty good. I'm actually pretty happy with things overall, okay? In total, since I started the channel, I started in October 20th, 2024. And I've got about 160 videos now total. I think most of that's probably long form. Some of them are shorts. I think they include that. And in 2025, I've posted a long form video every single day. I can't believe I've done that, but I did. It's a pretty big accomplishment for me. 3 months in, I think that's something pretty remarkable for me. I didn't think I'd have to do that, or I don't know. I don't know what my expectations were, to be honest with you. I mean, YouTube's a interesting game, let's put it that way, as far as being successful at it. And then as far as the hours go, I'm at 3,200 hours, so a little more than 3/4 of the way there to 4,000 hours. That's what you need. And then I'm a little more than halfway in subscribers. I'm a little, I think, behind my hours when it comes to subscribers. I'm at 545, something around there. And but overall, I think that's still pretty good. There are some people who try for years to get monetized and they struggle with it. So I feel very fortunate to be in the position I'm in. Okay, I've got one video that's gone viral and it's gotten me more than half those hours. Okay, and now my other videos, they're contributing as well, no doubt. But I feel very fortunate to have gotten lucky with one viral video. I think I might have a second one going viral. I don't know. We'll see what happens, because they can stop at any time. That algorithm has a mind of its own. And I'll tell you what, I'm not taking that viral video that I've got going on for granted. It could stop any time. Okay, and I'll get into that in this video as well. And that's part of being humble. Okay, well, I'll talk about that in a minute. Now, for other YouTubers, you can be monetized in a day or two. That's the crazy thing about YouTube. So I kind of feel like I'm somewhere in the middle. 6 months in, I think I'm getting close. I'll probably get there. But, I'm not like an instant success like you do see. I mean, there are some YouTubers that just blow up, and I've talked about that in the past. And it can be tricky to maintain that momentum, no doubt. So that's my status. Like I said, I feel good about it. And I'm going to continue the journey, no doubt. I'm not giving up. And I enjoy doing it. I really do. It doesn't bother me anymore, like as far as being nervous about it. And yeah, it's been fun. I'm having a lot of fun now, trying to get into a groove. I don't know if I'll be able to post videos every day, for eternity. It's hard to say. It depends on my style, the type of content I'm able to come up with. I want to have good content. Maybe I could do a little bit of vlogging, I guess, here and there. That might help produce some content on a daily basis, but we'll see, and I'll let you guys know. Now, let's go over what I've learned about YouTube over, the last 6 months since I've been doing this. Now, the first thing I'll say is be careful when you start YouTube. There's pros and cons to when you start being a YouTube content creator. Now, I started this in October. Now, it was beautiful weather-wise in October, but guess what? Now I had 6 months of winter in Michigan to deal with because I like to record outside. All right, I love it out here because I can talk loud. I don't have a lot of distractions. I've got some nice open areas with not a lot of people. That's just my vibe. I don't really want to deal with people and all that. But if you start in October, guess what? You're going to get some snow, especially up north. Now, if you live in Florida or California, that's not an issue, right? But for me, you know, I've had to do that. However, I will say that there are some pros to it in that the snow is pretty. You know, when people are walking through snow, there's a lot of people who never even see that. And, you know, you're covered in snow. It's kind of, sometimes there's snowflakes falling down and there's some action there, you know, for people to watch. And people just like to see pretty scenery if you have that opportunity to be around that, like I am in Michigan with a lot of trees. So there's that. There's some pros and cons to starting in the winter. And then there's pros to starting in the winter too, in that there are a lot of people inside their houses and they, you know, people are kind of bored and they need something to watch. And so I bet you there's more watch hours in general in the winter, because think about it. In the summer, everyone's out busy, out and about, doing their thing, going out to eat, going on vacation, doing lawn work, you know, fixing up their house. So, you know, if you start right now and into the summer, it could be more difficult to get a lot of watch hours. It's hard to say though. You know, the YouTube algorithm, they know who's watching, who to push your content out. So don't stop or don't change your mind about your schedule just because like this little idea I have. But it's an interesting challenge starting in the winter if you want to record outside. I don't know. For me, it's just how I vibe. I love it out here, man. It's just, I'm an outdoor person. So if I had to do it over again, maybe I'd start maybe in April. I don't know. I don't know. My snowy videos, a lot of people do like. But anyways, I'm rambling on here. Sorry about that. Some other advice. So the YouTube game, guys, it's kind of like investing. It really is. It's kind of like investing, and you need to think of it as being long in the stock market. You really do. You got to think about it from a long-term perspective, because this can take time. It's not guaranteed that you're going to go viral. And guess what? Even if you do go viral, you're going to want to continue to record content forever and ever and ever if you want to be a monetized YouTuber. So you better just think this is a long game at the end of the day. Now, if you get monetized right away, it's nice because, you know, you're actually producing some incremental value and some real money at the end of the day. But you got to remember, this is a long-term game, and it's exponential, guys. It's like the stock market. You know how the stock market is like compound wealth, you know, exponential wealth. It's the same thing with YouTube. If you start a channel, your videos, they kind of compound at the end of the day. Because if you get a new subscriber in any day, they could go back to any of your videos and the algorithm will continue to push older videos to that viewer. Because even for me, channels I subscribe to, I'll get old videos of theirs, no doubt, and I'll click on them from time to time if I'm interested. So keep that in mind if you're starting a new YouTube channel. It's a long game, and you're building up a library. Okay, you're building up a library of content for people to consume. So just remember that. So what else have I learned though about YouTube? It's a big therapy session, guys. YouTube is a big therapy session, and you're the therapist. Okay, you got to keep that in mind if you're going to be, you know, producing content for the entire world. Everyone's different. People have different reasons for being on YouTube, but at the end of the day, I think it's therapy for a lot of people. And they go to certain content creators. They like to hear their voice, their vibe, and their feedback. Okay, so think of that. Be conscious of that if you're going to go down this road. That's something I've learned. What else have I learned? Sometimes, like in the stock market, you got to take some risks. You got to take some risks in this world. This world rewards people who take risks. And when it comes to the type of content that you're going to produce, sometimes risks can pay off. Now, can they hurt you? Yes, you can lose subscribers if you push out a risky video, but you can gain more. Okay, I've had a few videos that right away I lost like 3 or 4 subscribers, but then I gained like 10 new ones. Okay, it all depends on, you know, your vibe and the type of content you're trying to do, but risks can help. Okay, now one of those risks I'll talk about is talking about certain people, famous people online. Okay, and I'm assuming you guys can kind of guess where I'm going with this. There's one person in this world, if you mention their name, the algorithm will pick you up, and it's called Donald Trump. All right, something about that guy that is so polarizing. If you do any sort of opinion or take or related video to this guy, you're gonna get views, no doubt. I mean, every time I mention his name, or even if it's in the title, I see views. Now, I don't want to make my channel about the guy, no doubt, but he's an interesting character, and there's a lot of opinions around that man. And that is one way, if you are struggling with your channel, I'm not saying you should do this, but if you're struggling and you do want to get into politics or financial stuff, you can talk about him, and it can benefit your channel. Okay, it can also hurt your channel too. Don't get me wrong, like you know who he is, just be aware of it. It is a tool to help your channel if you're struggling. If you're not struggling, hey, you don't need to deal with that, honestly. What else have I learned? I've also learned that misery loves company in YouTube land. It really does. You see the doom and gloom YouTubers and people who lose their jobs, lose money. I lost $28,000 in the stock market, and guess what? That video went viral, okay? Now, you got to be prepared if you're going to try to do a doom and gloom or a misery type of story. You got to be able to convey your thoughts in a constructive way in YouTube, be able to talk to the camera. But if you're able to do that and you got a story that's kind of misery, it might benefit you as far as growing your channel. Okay, it's hard to do a channel based all on misery, but 1 or 2 videos is all it takes at the end of the day. Now, I mentioned Donald Trump, okay? His big name, the algorithm will pick it up. That misery story of mine, I linked it to Jeremy Lefebvre, this financial YouTuber that is huge, okay? Big name, he's the biggest finance YouTuber out there. And I literally lost money because I followed that guy's trade at the end of the day. So it was a legit video, but that's a big name, okay? If I would have said I lost 28K on this stock, you think the video would have went viral? I don't think so. Okay, so tying in your content to big names, whether it's Donald Trump, you know, different political candidates, or big YouTubers, maybe it's Mr. Beast, Jeremy Lefebvre, whoever, it can help your channel. It's not a trick, it's just your take on things, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can have your opinion on any big name out there, you know, Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey, whatever your channel's all about. Use big names to your advantage, okay? So another thing I've learned is that, and this is more coming from a viewer perspective, is that relationship advice is an interesting direction too. And that's a hot topic for a lot of people. People are struggling out there with relationships, and that can help you grow your channel. If you have a lot of experience with maybe dating or marriage or divorce, whatever it is, your channel can do very well in that space because people are struggling with that. It's a difficult, complex world. We live in a modern world where there's red pill, feminism, divorce. The list goes on and on. You know, the emotional, psychological problems we have as humans can help you be a YouTuber, and guess what? You're going to be a therapist at the end of the day. You're going to be that person's support, okay? Remember that. This other YouTuber that I follow, RC Edson, he talks about divorce left and right, and he's always talking about child support. So I think a lot of men like to relate to that, and they always are talking about that and being single and stuff like that. And there's other YouTubers out there that are doing the same thing. So, and I'm sure it's that way in the female world too. Lots of females are looking for support. Okay, it's a messy world, and YouTube is a place of refuge. It really is. So relationships can help you, okay, as far as, you know, getting your channel going. If you want to pivot your channel, or maybe you got experience, you want to talk about it here and there. Nothing wrong with that. As far as my channel, I don't have a lot of experience with that. I have more experience being married for 20 years. If you guys want to know more about that, maybe I'll ponder that, how to have a successful marriage for 20 years. It's not easy, okay? But I don't have dating experience, so I really can't talk much about it. You know, I talk more about children and, you know, long-term marriage. I probably should talk more about that. You know, it's becoming a minority topic at the end of the day, being married for 20 plus years, because there's just not a lot of people married these days. So I digress. I'm starting to talk about marriage. Jeez, what am I thinking? But anyways, that's one thing you could talk about. And the last thing I want to say is you got to be humble in this world. You got to be humble in YouTube land, because again, people are coming to YouTube for a refuge. They really are. They're looking for friendship, camaraderie, community, and you got to be humble. And even for the people that hate on your channel or have the opposite comments that your takes are going on, be humble and understand their perspective and just say thank you for your comment. I appreciate it. You have a great day. You know, if it's something that's not, you don't really want to get into, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. I sometimes debate with some of my viewers and their comments, but sometimes good, healthy, constructive debate can really help your channel. When people are coming back to your conversation over and over, they're interested. They're interested in you, in your conversation. So if somebody has the opposite opinion as you, don't get offended personally. They just want to say their piece. And you know what? Come back and say, you know what? I get what you're saying, but here's my take. What do you think about this? Ask them the question instead of, you know, getting all mad. I see a lot of YouTubers talk bad about the comments, and I've only mentioned comments like one time, and I'm going to try not to even do that ever again, to be honest. Like, it's just something that you don't need to deal with, and try to have a positive outlook on it. Be humble about it, because you're the one in charge of your channel. You're in charge of the direction and the vibe of it. So try to stay positive. You know, you can kind of chuckle about some things, no doubt. But I don't know, that's just my experience. It's helped me. I think I've actually gained a few subscribers that way, of having good, constructive dialogue, even with people who didn't agree with me. Okay, because we're all human in this space. We all have different opinions on things. You're going to say things that another person is not going to agree with, no doubt. There is no way everyone is going to agree with your opinion. And, you know, when you take a risk on content, you're probably going to have some out-of-the-box opinions that may not jive with most people out there. But you're going to learn. You're going to learn a lot. And listen to those comments, read those comments, and study them. Because that's gold for you, okay? Because you can get new ideas from people in the comments, because I don't know everything, and neither do you as a content creator. So keep that in mind. It'll help you out. Be humble, be constructive when it comes to your comments, and appreciate people coming to your channel and commenting. I know there's probably abusive people, no doubt, and you know, hey, there's tools to block those type of comments that are abusive, but I think for the most part, people mean well, and they do mean that their opinion is valid, okay? So that's one thing I've learned, is be humble and learn from that. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's kind of a long one, but at 180 days, I wanted to give you my status and my take on what I've learned and everything else. And again, I just want to say thank you guys for all your support, and hopefully I can return the favor by giving you guys some good content. And yeah, just anyways, that's all I got to say. So thank you guys, and let me know in the comments below what you think about the channel, what you'd like for me to talk about. And as usual, take a look at my previous video, and everyone have a great day. Thanks, guys.